I've done pretty much every challenge you can think of against the 0% AI, so I think it's time we turn up the heat. Today's challenge on F125 takes us to Monaco, the most difficult track on the calendar, where we'll be starting from last place for a full-length race, this time against the 110% AI. Obviously, overtaking is much trickier around this track, so I don't know how far up the order we'll be able to make it, but we're gonna shoot for first place. A good old-fashioned last to first challenge. We're gonna do this the proper way, too. We're gonna throw on simulation damage and try not to destroy the car. There we go. There's your video proof that it's 110, in case there's any haters in the comments, you know. All right, here we are. Back at the grid. We've got the mandatory 2 stops in Monaco. So we're gonna go hards, mediums, mediums. Maybe we can audible to the softs for the last stint if we need to, but I think that'll be a good strategy. I think it's safe to assume we're gonna have to go for some pretty ambitious moves if we want to climb our way up the order. We do have 78 laps to get there, though, so plenty of time. But the 110 AI are definitely a lot smarter with defending. Okay, quite the slow formation lap. We've kept the tires as warm as we possibly can, but we're starting on the hard, so it's gonna take a lap or two for these tires to get activated. But here we are, parked up at the very back of the grid. The 5 red lights are coming on, and we are racing around Monaco for 78 laps. We're gonna try to go for a move up the inside into turn 1, but it's a bit crowded into the first corner. We're gonna need to make up as many places at the beginning as we can. We should have a good opportunity to go down the inside here. Gonna go late on the brakes, side by side with one of the Alpines, really close to contact. Into the hairpin we go. We've got the outside. Just try to barely swoop around here past one of the Alpines. We've got Gasly up ahead, so that's a couple places through Sector 2. They're especially slow through there on the first lap, but we're going to be close enough maybe for a move on Gasly. We're going to send it down the inside into the chicane, really close to Gasly, up to P15. We make it stick. Oh, what a start. Ooh, okay, first lap down, we'll take that. Up to P15. We've still got a long way to go. And obviously, the longer this race takes, the more the front of the pack is going to get spread out. So we just can't get stuck behind slow cars. I don't think we're going to be close enough for a move on Alonso into the chicane, but I think patience is going to be key here. We've got a lot of laps to go, so it's better to just wait for the right moment, you know, instead of forcing a move. Yeah, we're a lot faster through Sector 2, but a lot of this will ride on this corner exit right here through this right-hander. We need a good exit to start reeling in the Aston Martin through the tunnel. We are pulling closer to Alonso. We're going to be close enough for a move down the inside on Alonso up to P14. Oh, that one was perfect. Okay, we might be close enough for a move on Antonelli. We're going to send it down the inside once again. A little far back, almost slamming into the Mercedes. Too far back to make it stick. And we just used a lot of battery for that move. So that's something we have to be, cautious of, is we can't drain the battery too fast. There is still plenty of time in this race. We don't have to force a move on Antonelli, but I do want to get by as soon as we can, because I don't want the front runners to just run away. It's really all about this corner exit into the tunnel. Gonna try to put the power down as soon as possible in the slipstream of Antonelli. We're a bit far back, but we're gonna go for a move down the inside, banging wheels with the Mercedes pulling alongside now. It's a drag race to the next left-hander, tapping the wall there. So a bit messy with that overtake. We get it done. I think realistically, the Nouvelle chicane is the only place where we're going to be able to overtake, because they're so slow through Sector 2. It kind of just tees them up into that big braking zone. So I don't know. I don't see us getting one anywhere else. We're definitely close enough to Bortoletto here. Gonna go down the inside once again into the chicane, side by side with the Sauber. Better speed on exits. And that is us up into P12. So we're making pretty good progress at the moment. Only on lap 10. So still quite a long ways to go. All right, we've reeled in Ocon. We should be able to get him probably on the next lap. But the rest of the field is starting to spread out, especially the front runners. So that's kind of what I was talking about at the beginning of the race. The longer this goes on, the more of a gap we are going to have to make up by the time we get to the closing stages. So we really need to get a move on and keep overtaking. Need a good exit here. Into the tunnel we go. We got plenty on the battery. We are definitely close enough for a move. On the Haas, down the inside, into the chicane. And this one will not be nice and easy. Ocon's gonna keep fighting. Drag racing into Sector 3. And we can just squeeze up the inside. That one was a little close for comfort. All right, 2.7 seconds to Hulkenberg ahead. But we should get him within a couple laps. We definitely have some strong pace here. I do have to say, the hards are not feeling good. It feels like there's no grip on the rear end. We've had a couple close calls locking up the front, so I don't know if it's just these tires or if it's the car setup, but there has been a bit of struggling. Okay, I think we'll finally be close enough for a move on Hulkenberg. They definitely get better exits into the tunnel, which makes the overtaking a little bit harder, but I think we'll be close enough to send it down the inside into the chicane once again. Up into the points, and that was a perfect move. P10 on lap 18. We're making great progress. Hajar up next. We can make this P9 in just a moment. Gonna go down the inside once again into the Novel chicane. And this one is nice and easy up to P9. And it kind of feels like these tires just randomly kicked in. We finally have a little... Well, maybe I spoke too soon. I was gonna say we had grip, but maybe not. Okay, we still have a big fat gap to Hamilton. We are gaining on him, but the progress has been a bit slower than with other cars we've overtaken so far. So we'll get Hamilton, but it might be kind of close to the pit window.
Your pit window will be open in 7 laps time.
Yeah, 7 laps until we're on the mediums. I don't know. I think we could probably get him before then. Okay, on to lap 24. And we're gaining about 5/10 a lap on Hamilton ahead. So we definitely are faster. And I'm wondering what our pace will be like compared to the McLarens at the front. I'm hoping we can catch them by the end. All right, we've reeled in Hamilton and Tsunoda. So I'm thinking next lap we can probably get Hamilton. We're too far back this time around. But if we can get both of these guys before we come in to the pit lane, that would be absolutely huge. Okay, here we go. We might have an opportunity. We need to get as close as we can through this section of corners. Pair that with a good exit into the tunnel. We've got plenty on the battery, and we are definitely close enough to go for a move into the chicane over and over. We're going down the inside, this time on Lewis Hamilton, and that's P7 with our teammate just ahead. This is working out perfectly. Okay, so Sonoda 7/10 ahead. We should gain a lot of that time back in Sector 2. Our pit window is open, so we'll be coming in at the end of this lap to switch onto the mediums. But I really want to get Sonoda before we come in. Okay, this one should be nice and easy, making a move on our teammates up into P6 on lap 29. All right, that was perfect. Well, that was an incredible first stint. Almost 30 laps on the hards. And into the pit lane we go. So it is a mandatory 2-stop. We've got mediums right now. Good stop from the team. And then we've got mediums towards the end of the race as well. But there's currently a huge gap to George Russell at the front of the field. So, I mean, we've made up a lot of positions on this first stint. But it is going to be a tough job to chase down that Mercedes. Looks like he's a long ways away. Okay, we've got Leclerc 6.5 seconds up the road, but he is on the hard, so I don't know if he's already come in, and those are fresh tires, or if they're old, but we'll be faster either way. Yeah, 2.5 seconds to Leclerc now. We're gaining crazy time on the Ferrari here. He might, I guess, be stuck behind slower traffic, but through the chicane, we gain even more time. Through Sector 3, we're gonna gain even more. We go purple in Sector 2, and just like that, we're right on the rear wing of the Ferrari. Yeah, we got a bad exit out of that last corner, so we're gonna have to bide our time and wait another lap to go for a move on Leclerc, but I guess those hards are fresh tires. So we got our slow tires out of the way on the first stint. We are going to be flying the rest of this race. We low-key might be close enough for a move into Sector 2 here. Need a good exit through this right-hander, but we're right on the Ferrari. We're going to send it down the inside on Leclerc, side by side. Really narrow section out of the track. Into the hairpin we go. Gonna be really careful of contact here. We pull ahead of Leclerc right on the rear wing now of Hadjar. And this will be a nice, easy move in the tunnel. Gonna breeze by the Racing Bull. And that's up to P5. That was a very ambitious move on Leclerc. We make it work. Let's go. Okay, well, we got 12 seconds to Lando Norris on to lap 34, so just about halfway through this race, and we're up into P4, passing Sainz in the pit lane. So it's the McLarens and George Russell ahead. We're almost onto the podium here. We just really need to dial in the pace and catch these McLarens. Yellow. Oh, Behrman's in the wall. Oh, that is a terrible place to be. Oh, someone's gonna kill him. So the reason that's not a safety car is because the safety car's turned off. I didn't want to get bailed out. If we're trying to go last to first, I didn't want to get bailed out by a safety car bunching everyone up. So it's going to be purely on pace. So safety car's off. We have corner cutting rules on, of course. But that also means there are no blue flags. So when we get to lap traffic, we are going to have to genuinely overtake. So that might play a bit of a role later on. So the gap to Lando is now down to 3.5 seconds. So we're gaining almost a second a lap on both the McLarens. I don't know if they're holding each other up, but they are on the hard. So we're on the faster tires. We are really gaining on these guys. We're by far the fastest person on track. 1.9 seconds to Lando now. We are very low on the battery though, so we've been using a lot of battery to catch up here. But we can recharge once we either get a little bit closer or make the move. But I'm fine with just dumping it for now. I think it's worth it. We're just barely too far back to go for a move into the chicane. So we'll have to wait another lap, but we are definitely reeling him in. I don't know. I think we back out of this one. I don't think it's worth the risk of contact 50 laps into this race with simulation damage. I don't want to go for a move unless it's absolutely, 100% all there. So we're going to play this very, very patiently with these two McLarens. There goes Piastri into the pit lane, just Lando ahead. All right, man, maybe we go for it now. It was only a matter of time. He's much slower on those hard compound tires. We have way more pace, so we're gonna send it on Lando. A little bit of contact through the chicane, but we'll get better speed on exit. Still kind of side by side into sector 3. But we'll make it stick up into P2 on lap 51. Ooh, okay, a little bit of wheel spin there. I think these tires are... yeah, I think these tires are starting to die off. Oh, well, there you go. That's perfect timing. Our pit window is open at the end of this lap. We'll get a new set of mediums. So we'll lose a spot to Piastri, but I think we should still come out in P3. Okay, into the pit lane we go. Our final stop of the race. We get a bit of a breather, so we'll be heading out onto lap 54 somehow, up onto the podium. From last place on the grid, Russell is very far ahead, 18 seconds before our pit stop. So I'm going to assume Russell needs to stop again. There goes Piastri and Leclerc. Leclerc's still on the hard, so he'll come in as well. So essentially, we're out in P3, 5.6 seconds to Piastri. I'm just now realizing Piastri's on the hards again. He went mediums, hards, hards. So not sure what he's doing in terms of strategy. It looks like Lando did exactly the same thing. So, I mean, we caught up to them quite easily before. We should catch Piastri in like a couple laps here. We're gonna be way faster. Yeah, dude, we just have so much more grip through Sector 2. We can get on the power earlier than Piastri can. So as long as we can make this overtake nice and clean, we don't get held up, it's going to be full steam ahead to chase down Russell. Like, this is working out perfectly. I think this is going to be our chance here. We just need a good exit into the tunnel. We're a bit low on battery, but we're going to dump it in the slipstream of Piastri. We're going to go for a move down the inside into the Noel chicane once again, side by side with the McLaren, and we're going to pull ahead on exits, breezing past Piastri. And that's up into second place on lap 58. That is exactly what we needed. So 20 laps to go and a 10-second gap to George Russell in first place. We are steadily gaining on Russell. 7 seconds now is the gap on lap 62. However, there are some back markers ahead. And again, no blue flag. So we're going to have to cut through this traffic. But Russell will have to do the same. So it's going to come down to who can overtake better. Russell got past Colapinto, so he's currently behind one of the Aston Martins. We have to get through Colapinto, but once we do, I think we'll be chasing him down pretty quickly. All right, we need to get this move done on this lap. We're close to the Alpine. We've got a decent amount of battery. We gotta make it happen here. Nice line through this right-hander. Into the tunnel we go. Definitely close enough to get a move done on Colapinto. Hopefully, it's a clean one. We've got the racing line this time around for the chicane past Colapinto. And now it's just George Russell up ahead, stuck behind one of the Aston Martins. So if he continues to get slowed up, we should be able to chase him down in no time. But if he gets past Stroll, we're gonna have to do a bit more work. There's still 10 laps remaining in this race, so we're gonna take a couple laps to recharge the battery and make sure we can do a very strong final push towards the end of this race to guarantee a pass on Russell. We're essentially just trying to chase down Lance Stroll, which shouldn't be too hard, but to be honest, both of these guys have pretty good pace. They're both getting really good exits, so we're not catching as fast as I thought we would be. I mean, we are recharging the battery a little bit, but they're definitely not slow. Maybe there's something here. We're decently close on exit into the tunnel, but Russell pulls away. We're gonna have to back out of this one, sit behind the Mercedes for another lap. We've got plenty of battery stored up to go for a move, but they're just getting crazy exits into the tunnel. This might be harder than I thought. Heading on to lap 73, so the race is winding down. We've got plenty of charge on the ERS, but corner exits like that are definitely not going to help. It's just this corner that's been a little bit tricky with these two ahead. They get a really good run into the tunnel. We're just barely too far back to go for a move. It's not worth risking a lot of contact. I don't know. On to lap 74. Russell still struggling to get past Lance Stroll. We're struggling to get close enough to make a move on Russell. We just really need to stay close through Sector 2. That's all we can do. We really need a good run through here and into the tunnel. Around the hairpin we go, very close to the rear wing of Russell's Mercedes. This is probably the closest we've been yet. We're going to dump the battery into the tunnel we go. We've got the slipstream on the Mercedes, and we're going to send a move into the chicane down the inside on Russell, side by side with the Mercedes. We pull ahead, and that's P1 on lap 74, still behind Lance Stroll. If we can put Stroll between us and Russell, it's over. It should be pretty easy to defend around Monaco, but if we can get Stroll, it'll just be an extra layer of insurance. There's only 4 laps to go. We gotta get this done now. Okay, here we go. We're a little far back from the Aston Martin, but we're gonna send a late dive down the inside into the chicane, swooping around the Aston Martin. And that puts Stroll between us and Russell. P1 secured for the time being. All that's left to do is bring it home. We have somehow put 2.5 seconds between us and George Russell in just a couple laps. So over a second a lap faster than the Mercedes. We've been cooking all race long, way faster than every other car on track. We still have the fastest lap as well. Just gotta not put it in the walls and we'll be good. Here we go, on to the final lap of the race, lap 78 in Monaco. And somehow, we've clawed our way up to P1. That is absolutely perfect. I'm not gonna lie, I was not expecting to actually see first place at any point in this race. I was hoping for maybe a podium. Obviously, the overtaking around Monaco is a whole different ball game, but we've made it work. Starting from last place on the grid against the hardest AI difficulty in the game, we go P20 to P1, 78 laps in Monaco, and that is a first place finish.
Good race, that. I think.
What a beauty.
Yeah, we made everything right with the strategy there to keep the gaps.
Could they be like any?
That was a proper quality ride.
Could they be any less enthusiastic? Are you kidding? Okay, well, that was kind of a sweaty one, I'm not gonna lie. Simulation damage, 78 laps. P20 to P1. Definitely worked up a sweat. I think I'm gonna go get myself a beer. Alright, well, buy some merch. It's linked below. I'll see you in the next one.